10 minutes later than we usually start these hangouts. It's about 8:40. I am actually not going to be joined by Paul Romero today. I am going to be hosting this all by my lonesome, which is just fine because I can do it. So anyways, welcome to the Sell a House, Arizona. Almost forgot which hangout I was on. Sell a House, Arizona Wholesale Training. I'm live from Princess Cruise Lines. I'm here today on a 4-day business retreat with about 15 people from the Phoenix area that I do business with. Actually, quite a number of them themselves are in real estate and wholesalers. One of the guys that's actually hosting this little cruise gathering is a mentor of mine, Jeff Fagin, who has actually helped build the company Peak Potentials for T. Harv Eker. Great opportunity to spend a weekend with someone such as that. And what I want to talk about today is the importance of having success habits, the importance of utilizing a personal calendar, and the meaning and importance of time blocking. And how I'm going to get into these topics today is I'm going to discuss the Napoleon Hill time management system. I just want to point out I am on the deck of a cruise ship. So if we look out the window there, we're ported in San Diego, and there's a nice active aircraft carrier over there loaded with all the Navy jets and everything. So hopefully my cell phone battery doesn't die, because that's what I'm using right now for my hotspot, because the Wi-Fi in this ship absolutely is terrible. Not only that, if I wanted to pay $199, I could do this hangout. I didn't want to pay to do this hangout, so I'm using my phone, which hopefully the battery will hold out long enough so we can get through this thing. So I said I was going to talk about the importance of habits, and I want to mainly focus that on getting in the habit of utilizing a personal calendar and learning what time blocking is, time management skills. It's very important to success, and something that we'll be talking a lot about this weekend during this cruise. And I thought that's probably, since I'm really focusing on making myself better, and then I can help you guys who come on these hangouts, and those of you who are already on the Sell a House Arizona team, the Property Noodler team, I can help and guide you guys as well. So Napoleon Hill's time management system goes something like this. There's 24 hours in a day. Obviously, everybody knows that. And believe it or not, the most important part of the day is your sleep and your habit, your sleep habit. If you're not getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day, and I know this sounds, why is he talking about this? Because it's so critically important. Because if you're not getting 7, 8 hours of sleep every day as a habit, well, you're not functioning at 100. You can't possibly function at 100%. It's necessary for your body to have that period of rejuvenation. Give your mind those hours of just being able to wind down and dream and be asleep and turn off your cognitive functions and your consciousness for 7 to 8 hours. Not only is it a physiological necessity, it's also a mental and emotional necessity. I got about 9 hours of sleep last night, a little more than I intended, because I'm on a cruise, and it's unbelievable how great I feel this morning. Probably because I am on a cruise, but getting my sleep, that helps too. I'll go ahead and take a sip of coffee here. So now with that out of the way, let's really get into the meat of what we should be doing in our waking hours. I've studied this personally myself for quite some time, and I've always honestly struggled with time management my entire life, and I've really buckled down and concentrated and focused on this, and this is a skill, a learnable one at that, so keep that in mind, but a difficult skill to master, especially for people who have gone through the majority of their lives, and I'm sure that's a lot of you on these hangouts, doing things haphazardly, never really having a routine, never really having written things down, never really thinking about how to spend your time outside of, I just know I have to be at my job at this time and I get to leave and head home at this time. Well, there's a lot of other things going on in life besides just our work, and we need to make time for everything, all the important stuff. And with work in mind, you should be spending about at least, and this is my opinion, even on Sundays, until you're a millionaire, until you've got success, until you have reach that level of success that you're striving for and you're financially free, to me, you should be working a minimum of 6 days a week. And on the 7th day, you should still be working, but in a different capacity. And we'll get to that. But I believe you should be, well, and this is according to Napoleon Hill as well, it's like most of you have the 8-hour job, right? So if you're at your job for 8 hours, it is your duty to not only to your boss, but yourself to to get in the habit of being the most productive that you can possibly be, giving yourself 100% of your focus, attention, and commitment to your job or your business or your sales or whatever it is that you do right now to earn your living, is that you are spending 8 hours a day being productive at that, and as productive as you can be. So, a lot of you, obviously, you're coming here to wholesale real estate because you feel trapped in a job, or maybe you even have a job that you don't necessarily enjoy or like. So you're kind of going through that day mindlessly. But you know what? That's a bad rut. That's a bad habit to get into. You've got to actually spend your days being as productive as you can. And so for those of you in sales that don't get paid hourly, that get paid on commissions, you understand what I'm talking about when I say about being productive. There's a huge difference between the busy work, updating a spreadsheet, updating your contacts, updating your follow-ups for your leads, looking over your lists. That's the busy work. Where the rubber meets the road is when you're on the phone or you're at someone's door or you're sitting down closing a deal. But that's what I'm trying to drive home here, is that you need to be productive for 8 hours a day. And when I say productive, it's what it takes to be earning money. If you're in wholesale real estate, a lot of the gurus will tell you, this is an easy thing. This is the kind of business you can work from home in your underwear. And you know what? That's actually bullcrap. You cannot make money starting out in wholesale real estate sitting at home in your underwear. First of all, you don't have a business system in place yet. You don't have a team assembled yet. You don't know how to close a deal when the time comes. So there's a lot of work to be done to get to the point where you can sit in your underwear at home and do wholesale real estate. Point being, you need to be in the habit of being productive and blocking out 8 hours of your day, and this has to do with the time blocking I talked about. 8 hours a day of being productive, which leads us to, now we've slept 8 hours, now we've been productive for 8 hours, that leaves only 8 hours left in the day, right? So this actually, according to Napoleon Hill, and it's something that I've come to believe fully, is that these next 8 hours are the most critically important hours of your day, actually. This is where you either blow it or this is where you succeed. Because what you do with these next 8 hours is everything. Are you the kind of person that does nothing after they get off of work? And by nothing, I mean you drive home. There's an hour right there. When you're driving home, you listen to schlock crap on the radio. I mean, top 40 hits. Maybe you pop on a little local news, or you listen to, I hope you're not listening to political pundits, because that is the biggest waste of your time, is to get sucked into those guys' bullshit, whether you're conservative, liberal, what have you, on both sides of the aisle, whether it's the Rush Limbaugh or the Michael Moore. Quite frankly, I'm calling you guys out because you're big fat slob liars. And I know way too many people obsessed with you guys, and you know what? They're all liars, every single one of them. You go home and sit down and put on the TV set and then just watch hours of mindless television, reality shows that are scripted, by the way. There's no reality there. What else do people do to waste time? You know what? Maybe instead of talking about that, let's talk about what you could be doing so that you can be a productive, successful human being here. So you've got these 8 hours. Napoleon Hill says you should spend 1 hour of that time studying personal development. Sit down, read a book, watch video like this. And there's just a host of ways you can spend an hour studying personal development. I suggest, if you're not in the habit of reading books regularly, that you begin to read books, maybe 15 minutes a day. And a lot of you are against reading books because And I just had this conversation last night with somebody here on the cruise about this, is that for years, growing up, his parents only allowed him to read the Bible. And for a kid, that's a difficult read. I suggest reading the Bible because there's great wisdom in there. And I happen to be somebody that believes in God, So I find that the Bible is a great book to read. But when you're forced as a child to read just that one book and then everything else, he was telling about how we got in trouble with his parents for sneaking into the house and hiding under his mattress a Goosebumps book by R.L. Stine. I mean, that's extreme. But for him, because of growing up in a household like that, he actually developed this mindset unbeknownst to him, because as we're growing up, we have no control over how other people are impacting our lives and the things our parents say and the things adults say to our childlike brains, to our undeveloped mind. We don't have the ability to disseminate really what's bad information from good information. That doesn't happen until we become much older and become aware. For him, reading was never anything that was fun. It was never anything that he looked at as enjoyable. And for him to get into personal development, he had a very hard time reading books and being able to sit down and focus and concentrate on that. And what he told me to do to get over that is one of his mentors suggested, start out by reading fiction. Let get a book that what's the kind of fiction you like? Science fiction, horror, mystery books. And he really liked mysteries, so he started reading Sherlock Holmes stories, and he really enjoyed it. And then ever since he started enjoying reading, by starting out with something like fiction, he was able to actually, now he can sit down, read a self-development book like a Napoleon Hill book, or Dale Carnegie. I mean, there's so many great ones. I can't even get into all the book recommendations today, but the point is, you can train yourself to do anything. And you should be spending 1 hour a day, according to Napoleon Hill's system here, to study personal development. One of those ways is to read books. And I suggest, if you've never read any self-development books, it's a tough read, I believe, for people who first get started out. But the Think and Grow Rich book by Napoleon Hill is an absolute necessity. But maybe a simpler book to get started with, because it was only written within the last 10 years. And quite frankly, it's a very simple, straightforward, easy, fun, entertaining read. Is, I would say, get started with T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I mean, those two books alone will change your life and change your perspective. So an hour a day, you need to be in the habit of studying self-development. So that leaves us 7 hours. Well, Napoleon Hill says 2 out of those 7 hours should be spent going the extra mile. And I love this, because I fully believe that we reap what we sow. And if we're out there doing good things for other people without expecting anything in return, you will not only feel good about yourself, develop lifelong relationships with the people that you're reaching out to and helping, but you reap what you sow. It'll come back to you tenfold. So what I mean when I say going the extra mile is that for 2 hours every day, just think about how a way in which you can help somebody with your friends. Think about, there's a million ways. Like, just if you spend the 2 hours reaching out to various people you haven't talked to or communicated with in a while, maybe send them a nice note or an encouraging email, visit them on a social media site and comment on some of their posts, just compliment them. Best thing to do, maybe pick up the phone and connect with people. I just basically did this. A buddy of mine had asked me for help. He knows that I own a paint business, so I have access to a lot of equipment and to a trailer. And he was doing one of his first, actually it was his first rehab project on a home. And I don't rehab properties. I'm a wholesaler, straight up. I've never rehabbed a property. I'm going to be honest with you right now. And I might get into a little bit more of that this year, but I own a construction business and I know how work is done. I have licenses for paint contracting, drywall, wallpaper hanging, and general contracting in general. But he had called me up and asked me if he can, he had to pick up these cabinets for his rehab, and being his first project, he doesn't have his whole team assembled yet, so it's something he had to do on his own. I said, you know what, I'll let you use one of my trailers, but I'll come pick you up and I'll drive and I'll help you pick up the cabinets and the things you need for the rehab. And I spent 2-3 hours with the guy, really helped him out. I didn't expect anything in return from him, and now I'm hanging out with him on a cruise all weekend. And we've done a lot of business together in the last 6 months, all probably because I helped him out recently, well, 6 months ago, but helped him out without expecting anything in return, and developed this just amazing relationship now that's been really good pals. 6 months now, we're on a cruise together, hanging out, and we're doing a couple wholesale deals together. It's amazing what going the extra mile for people will do for your life. So that's something that you want to do, get in the habit of thinking about doing every single day. So we still got 5 hours left, which I have to run through this pretty quick because I've got to get downstairs to breakfast by 8, and I did start a little bit late, so I'm going to go about 2 more minutes here. So you got the extra mile, you've got studying personal development, which could also be YouTube videos. You can Google or YouTube search Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, T. Harv Eker, Brian Tracy. I mean, those just Bob Proctor. I mean, those are just a few. And you can Google these guys, and there's hours and hours and hours of access to free material on YouTube for this. So there's really no excuse that you can't be doing home study courses for this stuff. So we've got another 5 hours. So 1 hour a day should be spent in silent meditation. This is a time that you spend thinking about the person you want to become. This is the time you spend thinking about why you want to become this person, why you want to do better. This is the time you spend thinking about what your definite major purpose is in life and thinking of ways to achieve that definite major purpose. This is the time you spend actually figuring out what it is, how much money you want to make, what you want to do with the money you want to make. This is a time you really need to be reflective about who, what, where, who you are, what you want to do, and some of the how-to and putting together a plan of getting there. So then he says that you should spend 1 hour a day with your mastermind. And that's what these hangouts are really about for me. When me and Paul get on here, we do 2. We do this one and we do another one. And for an hour a day, every day with Paul, just on these hangouts, we're masterminding, we're talking about personal development concepts, we're talking about business. You need to form a group of people and be really selective about who these people are to form a mastermind group with. And then connect with these people an hour a day and talk about things that matter, things that are going to help you grow, things that are going to help grow your business and make you a level 10, help you to be a level 10 person. Okay, so we've got that. And then there's one more. Oh yeah. No, that's part of the meditation is also you want the 1 hour of meditation, quiet time a day is that you make sure you give thanks to whatever the higher power is you believe in. For me, it's God, it's the universe, and I like to thank God get in the habit of thanking God for all those things that are great in my life. It just, you do this, it will change your outlook on life, guaranteed. So we've got 8 hours of productivity, 8 hours of sleep, an hour of quiet meditation, 2 hours of going the extra mile for somebody, spend an hour in your mastermind, spend an hour studying personal development, and guess what? You've got 3 hours left, and with those 3 hours, you can do whatever you want. That's your time to shine. And you know what? I understand that our time is limited during the day, and a lot of these things can be multitasks. While you're driving commuting back and forth to work, you could be listening to a self-development tape. You can be on the phone in the car talking to your mastermind for that hour, what have you. So killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because obviously you have to eat, you have to commute, and you have to just do simple bodily functions like showers and hygiene and going to the bathroom. So that eats into your 3 hours. But you need to create new habits. You need to learn to block off time for the essential important things, and you need to do all that stuff before you spend the time doing the fuck off shit, if for lack of a better term. So with that being said, I hope that this was a helpful video for you. I suggest you go back and really take note of what the Napoleon Hill time management system, begin to think about ways to incorporate it into your life. And I think that you'll see a significant difference in yourself if you start being more productive with your time, really focusing, concentrating, and thinking about the things you're doing and how you're spending your time. Eliminate those things that are a waste of time and realize that your time is your most valuable and precious commodity that you have in your life, something you can never get back. We can make $1 million, lose it, and get the $1 million back, but we can never get back the time of our lives. So with that, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches that have been given to me at birth through the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire. I'll see you back here on Friday morning.